You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Similar to the Cup car in a lot of ways. This could potentially be a lot of practice tonight for the guys who are in the Cup Series as well. But man, it is like driving a track that has it's like 3 tracks in one. Just every sector of the track is just drastically different from the other. Really keeps you on your toes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is one of those tracks that it's really going to make you think about what you're doing as you're doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and I also found myself multiple times overthinking it. I mean, there were times where I'd go into a corner, hit the brakes super early, and then as I get closer to the corner, pulling, and I'm thinking, man, I hit the brakes way too hard, and I let off the brakes, and next thing I know, I'm running off the track.
Yeah, funny thing, we talked there for a good minute, and nobody heard anything because apparently my OBS decided to default back to default settings instead of the normal settings supposed to be at for sound.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Good thing is they didn't really miss anything.
No. We're still under practice right now. About another minute 45 to go here in practice at COTA. And then these guys will take to the track and try to lay down a hot lap and see how they can fare.
Yeah, and I think you look at the fastest lap times on practice right now. At a road course here, it can be really easy to lay down a fast lap when you're out there running a ton of laps, but then to go out in 2 laps and do it again, it's going to be a challenge for a lot of these guys. They haven't really been focusing on smooth, consistent driving.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that these guys got to realize is that as good as those fast laps are and everything like that, consistency is going to be key in this race. Maybe not to win it. I mean, you're going to have your fast guys out there right now. We're looking at Justin Anderson. He's running a really solid lap, his best lap with the 2:18, and then Dan Shirley not too far with the 2:18. Then after that, Gary Winters with the 2:19, and then Chris Passini with the 2:20 there in 4th. So Gary
literally just set the fastest his fastest lap, as you were saying that. So yeah, I mean they're still finding speed out there as we get 30 seconds left in practice.
They are, but like I was saying, it's as much as those hot laps are going to be great. The key here is just going to be consistency. One, not burning up your tires way too quick. Also, just not running off the track. I think that's going to be huge. It's who spins, who doesn't, as we see Joe Dinsmore get a little loose there, and who runs off the track into the sand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I was running here Saturday night for practice with my team, I'm pretty sure I was in the grass and the sand more than I was on the pavement. It was basically a dirt race for me.
Well, and that'll do our, excuse me, the practice is up. Now we've got 2 laps for qualifying. These guys will start coming out and trying to set a hot lap here, see what they can do.
Yeah, so we got a few guys out on track already. We've got Johnny Downey, Justin Anderson, and Dan Shirley, and actually there's a whole bunch more people jump in as well. So lots of guys going out there. I think realizing how long this track is, you really don't want to mess around with waiting until the end to run your laps. You want to go out there and get them before the time runs out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you'll see guys that won't actually take to the track. I wholeheartedly believe you're going to see guys that won't qualify at all. And they're just going to, like we were saying, just start near the back and just cruise around the track and try to be consistent and have a solid finish. They're not looking to really win the race, but they're looking to just have a good, solid finish.
Yeah, and I've done that before. I've been in a situation where, I've qualified decently and go in with the mindset of I'm going to take turn 1 really smooth and pretty slow so that I don't, cause any trouble. And go in turn 1 and someone rear ends me because they're pushing it a lot. Because a lot of times it's better just to start in the back and let those guys, that want to race hard, and let them do it. And you come back later and you can, really gain some positions.
As we take a look, Chris Piscini here, and he's just incredibly smooth right there on the track, as you see, just not trying to make any mistakes. Obviously, this is the coming out lap, your warm-up lap, as you get ready to take that green flag and head into your first lap.
Yeah, Chris Piscini was actually, he was on our Saturday team. It was me and Josh and Josh Hanner. And Piscini was in a truck, and we were in cup cars, and he put out a lap much faster than mine in a truck versus the cup car. So he's got a pretty good feel for this track, I think.
And that's the trick. It's gonna be, like you said, feel. It is how much practice did you put in? I mean, I know I raced there Sunday. I have not put 1 lap down on this track. I have no clue about this track. Eventually, I will. But that's kind of at my own terms.
Closed circuit's gonna stop paying you if you don't start practicing.
Well, the day I see that first check roll in, then I'll have to actually, load up there.
All right, well, it looks like we've got our first few people actually on their first time lap. That just goes to show how insanely big this track is. It takes a while to get around this place. We've been talking all this time. They're just now starting their time laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see that first corner, it's a hairpin turn. I mean, that's huge. Braking early enough, but being fast enough to be one of the faster guys going through these corners. You see all these S-style turns, and it's just, this track is going to be very challenging.
Yeah, I'm watching your screen there with Johnny Downey. He did a lot better with the S's there than I ever did. I would hit that curb right there pretty hard, and it's.
Well, and I think it's going to be a lot of patience on that throttle. The trucks are really good about being stable, but it's going to be the patience that you have coming out of these corners, not getting into it too early and too hard on that throttle coming out of these corners, but really straightening these trucks up and then putting the power down.
I think road courses illustrate it more than any other track that we run, in that if you run slower, you will be faster. If you back up your corners and try to get a good exit speed, that's where the speed is. It's not trying to dive into the corners if we can and slam on your brakes and slide the damn car around. It's about getting good exit speed, which I know a lot of these guys get it. Hopefully, a lot of the guys who don't typically run well at road courses hopefully learned it in practice.
And we're taking a look again at Chris Piscini here. As we wait for these guys, for our first guy to complete a qualifying lap here, I believe it will be Johnny Downey when he does come across the stripe. I believe he will be the first one that we have to complete a lap here.
Yeah, this is maybe the most boring qualifying I've ever been a part of. It just takes so long. Like, I want to see who's fast, and we're still waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. John said he put the little carrot, said starting in the back, LOL, and then he said, "Hope you guys have a great broadcast. We'll try to keep you entertained for 45 minutes." And there you go. Dan Shirley laid down a 2:19. He is currently your fastest qualifier. Johnny Downey, not showing a lap yet, but Brian McPherson shows a 2:22. As these guys are starting to click now, the laps in. Nick Adams back in the pits. Must have had a small issue. Chris Piscini now runs a 2:19.22, so not far off Dan Shirley. Kevin Moore with a 2:21. David DeParis 2:33 as these laps start to come in.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm watching here as people are getting their laps completed. Looks like Nick Adams may just go ahead and start from the rear. Probably not a bad strategy. As we talked earlier, sometimes it's better just to not try to force your way into an accident there. And Joe Densmore just moved into third there. Really good lap time from Joe there, who we know is a very good road course racer.
Yeah, Joe definitely does really well with these road courses. Right now we're in a 2:20.48. So about a second off there of Dan Shirley. Brandon Bernhardt turns in a 2:39. As again, laps still clicking in.
So I'm actually looking. Yeah, I'm looking here and I see Justin Anderson is on his second lap but hasn't recorded a time. I'm going to assume that's because he must have gone off track or something. He just didn't score it.
Yes, I would assume that you are correct there. As we're looking, I'm going to look down through here, see register some guys going off track, but I would definitely say that's it. I believe Rick Cooler should have been on his second lap here. Adam Wood, I'm guessing Johnny Downey should be, but right now these guys still showing that they're on their first lap as they're running their second lap.
Well, I know if I were them, what I would be doing on my second lap would be driving very conservatively. If I'm trying to qualify, that second lap I'm going to take a lot more carefully so that I'm sure I get time recorded.
And we're seeing a lot of guys right now not on the track. Nick Adams, Sean Carmody just turned in a 2:22, so that brings him up to 8th. But right now, Kevin Haas, Justin Anderson, John Gordon, Ed Springer, Randy Pepper, Mike Burgess, Nick Adams. None of these guys are on the track turning laps, but Dan Shirley now done his best with a 2:19.10. Chris Piscini with a 2:19.22. Right now, your top two. Gary Winters comes in with a 2:20.38. And Johnny Downey now exits the track. Did he give us a lap? It's not.
It doesn't look like it. Nope. So, and it looks like even Justin Anderson, who was on top of this, he is not going to have a time recorded either. So he'll be starting near the rear of the field, or at least in the second half of the field. So we'll have to see. Someone's really fast there. And look, I'm looking also at Blake Zeedy, who has not had as much experience in these trucks. But I know he's good at road courses. I've raced with him in the TNT series. He could potentially be someone here who could make some noise from the back of the field.
Yeah, we're taking a look right now. Tim St. Jean, he's trying to turn in his second lap. Andrew Burgess on the track. He just clocked in 8th fastest at the 2:22. Blake throwing out some tips out there. First lap should be super slow. Don't push through the corner. Save the tires for the second lap. Just get some heat in them and let it rip on lap 2. He's speaking strategy where he would do. And of course, the issue there is if you mess up the second lap, you start in the back. Fair enough. Also, Blake, happy birthday. I think Blake turned 17, 18 now?
Yeah, something like that. I thought Blake was a lot older until we had him on the podcast that time, and then it was like, oh, okay. I don't have to respect him anymore.
Yeah. Oh, Blake, I am your elder. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what he said there about messing up the second lap and all of that. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly maybe a lot of times that's what people want. I know I've been in that position before where I either wanted to qualify near the front or wanted to be at the back. I didn't want to be in mid-pack. That's where all the trouble is. I have slightly different views on that on a road course because it's a lot more potential for errors on a road course and getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah,
and no caution to bring the field back together.
No, and that's one thing that's huge here today. There will be no cautions. It's going to be local cautions only, so they will slow down. You will see no pace cars out there. John Gordon said Blake turned 27 today, so I remember my first beer as well.
Hey, let's take a look at the grid.
Yeah, let's take a look at the grid that for some reason defaulted me way out of whack. All right, here we go. Your top qualifier in the first row, Dan Shirley, followed by Chris Piscini in second. In row 2, Gary Winters, Joe Dinsmore. Row 3, William Klingbeil, next to Kevin Muller. In row 4, Brian McFerrin and Andrew Burgess. Row 5, Sean Carmody and Brandon Bernhardt.
All right, I can't do the row stuff because I can't keep count. You've already gone past my maximum
row 6
number I can count to. Row 6, we've got Rick Kohler and David DeParis. Row 7, Justin Anderson and Timothy St. Jean. Row 8, Randy Pepper and John Gordon. Row 9, Ed Springer and Blake Zeedy. Row 10, Nick Adams and Adam Wood. And rounding out the field, not yet. There were more down there. And 21st, we have Mike Burgess. 22nd, Johnny Downey. And in 23rd, Kevin Hunt.
And as you see right there, from 13th on back, no time. So these are the guys that either went out and tried to lay down a lap and unfortunately went off course, were not able to lay down that time, or they chose not to qualify, which is absolutely an option here and a viable one at that.
So this may be something you know the answer to, or maybe one of the viewers does. You don't. Do you know how, if you don't qualify, do you know how it's the order's set? Is it based on practice times?
That I'm not sure. That's actually a really good question.
So I saw Justin Anderson at the top there, which is why I was wondering.
Well, I believe Johnny Downey had a pretty solid practice time, and he's pretty far down there. So I don't know. It may just go in random order.
In that case, Justin got pretty lucky there, if that's the case.
Or
unlucky. We'll have to see.
Or, hear me out on this, it could go from ugliest to prettiest. I mean, maybe Justin's the ugly one of the group.
Well, hey, they better be glad that I'm not out there right now. I would have lapped the field.
I say that jokingly, of course. Right now, the only person showing 23rd, Randy Pepper, not gridded. It doesn't look like Randy Pepper's racing. Matter of fact, I don't see him in his team chat either, so I don't believe he's racing. But pace car is off. We're going green flag racing here at COTA.
All right. Clean restart there so far. I'm watching turn 1 to come through here, but or not turn 1, but I guess that's. You know what? I'm not even bothered with turn numbers. The last turn before the front stretch.
Well, they are green flag racing here, and it doesn't seem like it. This is a very odd track to have, but as you see, they're bottling up a little bit there in the back.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Brandon Bernhardt maybe got a little bit to the outside. At least on my screen is what it looked like.
Justin Anderson looked like he may have went off track. Let's take a look real quick. No, it's going to default to the leaders for some odd reason. Here we go. You see the 73, the UPS.com truck. As they stack up a little bit, and he's going to get tagged by the 19, and it just looks like they bottled up there.
Yeah, that's going to happen in turn 1 on a road course. I was talking about it leading into the you're going to have some guys that are going to take it very conservative on that first turn. Maybe even have some nerves. I know I'm going to have nerves tomorrow night at Watkins Glen. Take it really gentle, and there's some guys behind them that maybe aren't wanting to take it so gentle.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we have a wreck that happened here on course. Let's take a look. Number 30, Nick Adams, goes breaking in here and just gets loose. Looks like got on the turtles there, the little rumble strips, and slides. Luckily, no damage to that car. We could probably go back and forth here with the crashes we find all night. We'll try not to, but we'll try to keep the racing interesting. Right now, your leader is Daniel Shirley, followed by Chris Piscini and Joe Dinsmore in third. Gary Winters running fourth, and Kevin Muller running fifth.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll try to keep an eye out for the incidents. If there's anything really good and juicy, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we can try to focus on the racing for now. Yeah, I'm really, I know that Dan Shirley is really good at road courses. I was honestly expecting him to pull away, have a little bit of a gap here on Chris Piscini and Joe Dinsmore, but they're keeping it tight with him right now.
Yeah, right now Dan Shirley's really he's got his hands full as he see him get a little bit loose there. Chris Piscini able to keep up with him. He is running right comparable times with him, and Joe Dinsmore not far behind, just about a second and a half.
Yeah, that turn right there got me a few times getting on the gas. That's the one or two times I was able to keep it on the track. Adam Wood has gone around in the middle of the track too. Don't think we're on Adam Wood. Yeah,
that is not Adam Wood. Here is Adam Wood. Locks up the tires there, coming into that hairpin, and just gets loose. And unfortunately gets tagged there by the 19 John Gordon. Goes around, gets out of the track pretty quick, so that way he doesn't have any issues. A little bit hung up there though.
Man, John should have hit him harder. He could have spun all the way around.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong about that. That's right.
But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I have to say, I mean, we've had a few little incidents here, very minor things. I was expecting this to be a lot worse than it is right now. They clearly put in practice, running very smooth and consistent laps.
Well, let's also remember too that right now we're just starting out. So we got a pass here. Let's see if we can come back here. Check out the pass. 27 passing 22. That's Johnny Downey going around Rick Kohler here. And just gets that better drive. Looks good going through that straight there and gets around Rick Kohler. Oh, but
John Gordon just went off track, but nothing. Just a little off track. No issues there. Yeah, you had focused on Johnny Downey earlier. He's up 8 positions right now. 13th. Cutting through the field. John Gordon went around and just caused a huge backup.
We're going to take a look. It's actually showing Kevin Muller right here. He's one of your top 5 racers. See him gets loose and just slides coming around that corner. Burns it a little bit there. Gets hit in the reverse. Hits William Klingbeil.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing the John Gordon incident showing up, but that definitely happened as well. Oh, yeah, actually, there it is further back, yeah. So a lot of issues there.
Yeah, and that's as far as it went right there. So
okay,
we'll take a quick look, see if something else happened afterwards for that to show. Yeah, here you go. Gets loose and right around, tags the 16. Gets out of the way, though. Everybody else gets up underneath and goes around.
That could have been a lot worse than it was. Those guys did a good job getting on the brakes.
And a good thing for John Gordon, he got out of that racing line rather quick. There was that reverse, and then everybody just fell to that inside there and got right around him.
Hey, don't look now, but Joe Dinsmore is currently putting the pressure on Chris Piscini. I mean, he was right behind him in the previous corner. And also, I'm looking at Gary Winters just laid down the fastest lap of the race, running fourth. So Gary's car, or truck, I should say, is starting to come alive.
Yes, right now your top 4. It's a pretty close race there.
I say that, and I just see a notification that says Gary crashed. I'm trying to take a look, see if anything actually happened there.
No, Gary Winters is still on these guys right now. Gap showing just about a 1-second gap to Joe Dinsmore.
Yeah, I just took a look at it. He was actually a little bit closer. He came in a little too hot in turn 1 and just had to go a little wide and lost some speed.
Right now, your top 5 shows Dan Shirley, Chris Piscini, Joe Dinsmore in 4th, Gary Winters, and Andrew Burgess now up to 5th. Your biggest mover right now, Justin Anderson. He's up 6 spots to 7th. Oh, no, excuse me. Johnny Downey, your biggest mover. He's up 8 spots now to 13th.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm taking a look here. There's a whole bunch of red that just keeps scrolling through. I was trying to take a look, see what happened. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything major there. John Gordon went off the track. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're looking at Brandon Bernhardt here. The number 70 Endeavor. It's into the corner here. Gets loose on his own, just slides around. Gets back going rather quickly. He's good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't driven the truck, but it's entirely possible for some of these guys. They may just have a little too much heat in the tires, and it's getting a little slick on them right now. Because I'm seeing a lot of people overshoot turn 1. It has been just. I could probably park a camera at turn 1 and just watch the accident roll in.
And that probably goes back to what you were saying earlier, partner, about the backing up into the corners. You know, really not driving too hard into these corners.
Well, yeah, but and that changes. You're a lot of people. I've heard talk about everyone has braking markers. Especially at road course. You have visual references on the track where you want to be braking, where you want to accelerate. But that changes throughout the race. Like, you can't just use the same one over and over, because as your tires get older and hotter, you're gonna have to pick up your entry and also adjust your exit as well.
Hey, just taking a look, Ed Springer.
Wow,
does a nice 270 there. Gets back going. Hey, Adam Wood, you see him get a little squirrely coming out of that corner.
Man, that was smooth right there, Ed.
That's nice little 270 there. Real quick, gets back sideways, but able to get back on the track and get moving.
Hey, I don't know if you saw that. Dan Shirley just went a little off track there. Kept it straight, but he's pushing it right now.
We got a lot of time here. It's what, 45 minutes here at Coda?
Yeah, but hey, we've knocked off. We're 9 minutes in at this point, so moving along at a good pace. Apparently, that's what happens when you don't have cautions nonstop.
You're not wrong about that. I will give you that. You are absolutely not wrong about that.
But yeah, I'm looking. We were talking earlier about Joe Dinsmore really getting on Chris Cassini's bumper. These top 3 have kind of spread out a little bit now. We're not seeing as much of a, they're not racing each other as hard right now. I think that's just they kind of got comfortable. They found their groove, and they're just cruising right now.
And you're taking a look here at Sector 1. Dan Shirley just barely faster than Chris Piscini. That's not a big time there.
No, not at all. I mean, but hey, you're talking about we're talking about, like, let's see here, the last lap times. 0.3 of a second. So every little bit. Actually, they're Piscini quite a bit faster. Wow. Yeah, and we can see it's showing up on track too. Piscini is much closer.
Yeah.
So we might have a battle heating up here for the lead. Even if Dan Shirley is faster in Sector 1 than Chris Piscini, as long as he can minimize those losses and maximize elsewhere on the track. But there he lost them right there. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is what you're saying here. The sectors of where these guys are faster than each other, and why we see the gap grow and then come back and then grow. And we can monitor. You can monitor this for about a lap or two, and it'll give you an idea. Is it just the sector, or they just happen to be faster in that area at that point in time of this lap, or on this lap? Excuse me.
I really wish our timing and telemetry would give us like averages by sector or something, so we could get some good idea of where someone's faster. And a battle I'm watching right now, Sean Carmody and Justin Anderson have been going at each other like really aggressively. Of course, I say that now Justin's pulled away, but they were side by side in a couple of corners. It was a lot of fun for a little while.
Well, there you go. Chris Bassini faster in Sector 4. So this it could be brewing that battle there for the lead.
Yeah, I mean that was clearly a faster lap than Justin. He was faster in 2 sectors, slower in 2 sectors, but overall the ones he was faster in, the delta was greater. So that made up for I'm looking here, 0.2 of a second, about 0.2 of a second faster than the leader, Dan Shirley.
And Justin Anderson, as you were talking about, he's pulled away a little bit there from Sean Carmody, but he's catching Andrew Burgess now.
Well, we knew that Justin was fast, and I'm looking at lap times right now. Right now, he's not competitive with the leaders, but racing through traffic will do that to you. He's faster than Andrew Burgess, at least last lap, but he's much faster than the guys behind him right now. So he can take it kind of easy for a little while if he wants. He's not going to be getting immediate pressure, so he doesn't have to fight anybody off right this minute.
Yeah, absolutely. We just continue to look here. Looking through the field, the leader still Dan Shirley. And the gap less than a second, though, here to second place.
Yeah, they are really tight right there. Joe Densmore isn't out of this one. He's right there. There's also always a chance these guys can get battling, slow each other down, could even wreck each other. And if that's the case, you don't want to be right on their bumper either. So Joe's not in a bad spot right now at all. The track is this difficult. And I'm looking here, at lap time still, because I'm kind of following Justin Anderson. I think he is the guy that is making the most moves right now. He's still running lap times consistently faster than Andrew Burgess in front of him. But again, even looking at best lap times, he's not been competitive with the leaders. I don't know if he'll have, maybe he's been conserving a little bit. Maybe he'll have some form, on older, longer run. It's hard to say, but right now, Justin is looking like 4th or 5th place car right now at best, unless something changes.
And we're on board with Justin Anderson. Seems a little bit squirrely there coming into the straight. As he's trying to make up that time, but getting squirrely right there. That allowed Andrew Burgess to open up a little bit. He outbreaks Andrew Burgess coming into turn 1.
Yeah, and just watching this in-car right now is giving me PTSD from Saturday. It is... I'm seriously just amazed with how well they're. I'm not going to say by any means I'm a good road course racer, but I think that I am decent-ish at driving what my equipment gives me, and it was bad. It was really bad. These guys were just making it easy.
Well, and again, this comes from practice and everything else. You guys got to think these guys have been doing this style racing for a long time.
Oh yeah,
and not
for sure.
not particularly road courses, but this iRacing style.
Yeah, these guys are good. The AOLL has a massive number of experienced drivers. And it's fun racing with them. You learn a lot. But I did not learn a lot Saturday. I learned that I hated this track, so I'll probably never race it again.
We're sticking on board right now with Justin Anderson. He's all over the back of Andrew Burgess, and I believe right here he's just going to outbrake Andrew, get to that inside, cutting that corner, gets a little loose.
I thought he was going to lose it there. Oh man, I thought he was going to lose it.
But able to complete the pass.
Look at that. Oh man.
Woo!
making me really uneasy. Every turn there, I thought he was going to lose it. Yeah, I'm just like I'm watching like his his tires, seeing where he's braking. I mean, it's really awesome how good these guys are braking and throttle control, and just knowing exactly when you can give it throttle and when you can't, and it's done.
As we're trying to take a look back through the field here, see what we got going on. Let's just pick a driver. Kevin Muller back here in the 9th position, number 72.
Yeah, I mean he's he's been consistently in the top 10. He has lost 3 positions since the start of the race, but I mean, yeah, he's been clean a few times. Or times I've over to him, and just he's driving his race right now. It looks like he does have a little bit of damage on the back of his truck, but nothing too bad there. Looks like he's doing pretty well.
And that was the first thing I thought when you said he's clean, and then I seen his the crunch there. I was like,
well, hey, that is relatively little damage compared to what I'm seeing on a lot of these guys, especially on the back of the truck where people have been rear-ended at various points.
Yeah, absolutely. And you take a look at John Gordon here, got damage there on the left front. He's got damage on the back. That left side's got a little crunch to it.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here at the non-stop stream we're getting in our event log of Nick Adams crashed. It's happened a few times now. He's the past few laps he's had a handful.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, here he is. He's battling right now with the number 6, Tim St. Jean, trying to take over that 14th position.
Yeah, I'm trying to take a look here. I mean, I assumed that he had given it up. Yeah, so Tim actually passed him for the position, and he's fighting to take it back now. But
take a look. Says Chris Passini had wrecked. Let's take a look. See what we see. If we saw, he tried to outbrake Dan Shirley and just slides off the track there.
Man, he didn't just miss that by a little bit either. He missed it by quite a bit. But when those front tires start locking up and you start wheel hopping, there ain't a whole lot you can do at that point other than
you see Justin Anderson there as well. Just we're taking a look here. This is David DeParis coming into turn 1 and just on the brakes way too late, way too hard, slides into the corner, but overall he's all right.
Hey, he's just drifting. It's okay.
And you see here Nick Adams finally able to make the pass on Tim St. Jean. Nicely done there. Fortunately, Tim St. Jean loses another position to number 45, Adam Wood.
Oh, and we've got Justin Anderson on pit road.
And I would assume that these guys are going to have to take a pit stop.
Yeah, I never had a long enough run when I was practicing to actually get your gauge. But I would assume that as well. And we got Blake Ziti on as well. So we do have guys pitting. And look, especially at a track where there's no chance of you getting caught in the pits when a caution comes out. Sorry, Blake. Go early. I mean, take it if you have to pit, do it early. Have the advantage of tires over guys, and maybe gain a few.
Yeah, absolutely. Might as well go out there, get your tires, get back out there. Right now, we are sitting about 20 minutes in, so we're coming up onto that halfway point.
Yeah, and especially with a track this long. I mean, by pitting now, the guys who haven't pitted are having to still. Oh, I just saw Justin Anderson hit one of those turtles really hard. They still have to. If they want to pit, they still have to do a whole other lap before they get the opportunity. And all this time, Justin Anderson and Blake Ziti are gaining time on these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It could speak for something to come into the pits early, but we shall see. I mean, at the end of the day, it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah,
and I'm watching Justin here. I'm assuming he did not take a fast repair or something wrong with mine because the truck's still pretty crunched up.
And here comes the 49, Dan Shirley.
Yep, that's the right move here, I think.
Chris Passini staying out. He'll lead this lap.
And I think that's probably the right move for Chris as well. A lot of times you get in a situation like this, you do the opposite of what the leader does. And we've got Joe Dinsmore and Gary Winters on pit road as well. But, hey, Chris stays out a little while. He's absolutely losing time. I'm looking right now. His best lap was 2:19. His last lap was 2:21. So he's about 2 seconds slower at this point. So that's 2 seconds per lap that he's losing to these guys. And that's a lot. But at the same time, like, later, if he pits a little bit later, he'll have fresher tires than these guys a little bit later and might be able to gain some of his positions back. He'll have to fight for them, though.
Yeah, you see David DeParis there. He gives respect to the leader, gets out of his way, and Chris Bassini sets sail as he's just trying to be as smooth as he can be as he's trying to make it through here. It is interesting to see when he will come in for the pit stop.
Well, and the other thing to consider here as well, right now he's driving around and he's got a clean track in front of him. So he's not having to, brake and hit the gas based on where other drivers are. He's able to just go out and run his laps. And a lot of times that's a really good thing at these road courses. It's not going to be 2 seconds good, but it can definitely make a difference. So a lot of times you want to time your pit stop so that at some point you are going to have clean track.
Sorry, partner. I'm trying not to sneeze in the microphone. Holy cow. Woo! Anyways, we continue to look at Chris Bassini here. Andrew Burgess right now running second, but here comes Dan Shirley. And Dan Shirley is going to make this pass.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye here. Justin Anderson will be our first driver to complete a lap on fresh tires, and I'm keeping an eye to see what his lap time is going to be when he crosses the line here on his first non-pit stop lap to see what he's gaining here. But that's which we should be coming across here.
And here comes Chris Bassini into the pits. He will come down. He led a lap. Got his championship points off that lap led, and now he comes down into the pits to get his tires and fuel.
Yeah, I mean, what I was saying earlier about possibly having some fresher tires, later for these guys, an extra lap on tires would probably make that much difference. But he did lose a lot there, so yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would have probably pitted with Dan Shirley there if the alternative was to come out and pit later. But I mean, it's hard to say what the right strategy is. We'll see how it plays out by the end of the race. And
yeah.
I'm watching. I must have Justin's.
And there you go.
Time must not have.
Chris Bassini's now coming out of the pits. Dan Shirley's gap right now is about 3.5 seconds, and his tires are warm.
Yeah, that still isn't that bad though. I mean, Chris was able to stay ahead of Joe. So that makes a big difference. Chris, once his tires warm up, should be a little bit faster than Dan Shirley here. So, I imagine he'll be able to chase him down. Whether or not he'll be able to pass him, that's a different story. Yeah, so Justin Anderson's time just came in for his first full lap out of the pits. 2:21.08. So that is not showing us his best lap time, but it is. I wonder if maybe he went off track and didn't score at his best lap time. But yeah, I mean, that's faster than Dan Shirley, Chris Bassini, Dinsmore, Gary Winters, who were in front of him when they pitted. So it's a good move for him. I mean, he's got an extra lap on these guys. Definitely made up some time there. The gap between him and Gary Winters is currently 13 seconds. But it's if I'm not mistaken, before the pits, it's a little bit like something like 15 seconds. So he did gain there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he'll get faster as his tires go. Like you said, right now on the fresher tires, and the 19 John Gordon gets out of Dan Shirley's way. As Dan Shirley, he's just doing everything he can right now to keep this gap, or even open up a bigger gap here on Chris Bassini.
Yeah, well, like you said, I mean, your first lap off of pit road is not always going to be very fast because your tires are going to be cold. But after that, your first full lap, you should be laying down the fastest laps you're going to lay down. So I imagine I would expect Chris to start narrowing that gap a little bit, but we'll have to see once he has a full lap under him.
Well, that was not where that was supposed to go. Let's try it one more time. We're looking at Kevin Haas coming out of the pits here. And comes into turn 1. And takes a left-hand turn.
Yeah, I think it may have thought that was an incident because of the speed, but...
Yeah, that looks like that was a false positive there, partner.
Hey, good job, Kevin. That was a very good turn.
Hey, right now, looks like we got a battle brewing, though. The number 73, Justin Anderson's got the number 40, Sean Carmody, all over the back of him.
Yeah, Sean, Sean just ran the fastest lap of the race, any driver, a 2:19.09. He's fast right now, but he's going to want to get around Justin quickly if he wants to take advantage of the speed right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we are 27 minutes in, so over halfway. Just want to throw out there, Josh Laston just commented, said, I may be losing my role of the CCR road course ace after tonight. Josh, I don't know what you're talking about. Josh was our road course ace, so I'll let you decipher what that means there.
What? You're saying that Josh Channer was the road course ace?
We're all Josh.
Oh, I see. I see. Little inside joke. That's fun.
Yes. Now we got it.
So back to the racing. I'm watching the leaders here, and Chris Passini's 3.5 seconds back. He'll gain a little bit, then he'll lose a little bit. It does look like overall he is gaining right now. We'll see once his first full lap comes in what the differential is.
We just took a look at Tim St. Jean's incident there, and honestly, I thought that was going to be the perfect drift around that corner there for a second.
I'll tell you what, watching Dan Shirley come around that last turn there, and man, he uses up every bit of track he can on the corner exit. Just to the point where you go too far and you're going to get loose out there. I don't even know what that surface is. I don't think it's actually grass, but it's not painted surface either. I don't think. At least every time I hit it, I would get loose. Man, he's doing a great job of just hitting his marks repeatedly. I've seen him do that lap after lap.
Utilizing all the track, like you said, hitting all of his marks, and he's just looking flawless out there right now.
Yeah, so our last lap, Dan Shirley was 6/100ths of a second faster than Chris Passini. So not really building a gap right now, but he's maintaining. We'll see if Chris Passini can narrow that gap now his tires are warmed up. But I wouldn't count on it. Dan Shirley's been insanely fast all night.
And Sean Carmody got around Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson a little bit off pace. 2:23 was his last lap. Kevin Moeller just behind him running a 2:21. Andrew Burgess 2:21. Brian McPherson 2:21. So these guys will start coming for Justin Anderson, who's just seemed a little bit off pace. Joe Dinsmore at a 2:22. So Sean Carmody, he's going to set his sights there. He's about a second faster a lap.
Well, in the 2:23 that Justin Anderson had, it's kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about having clean track in front of you. And that also applies to behind you as well. You're having to watch your mirror to make sure you're not worried that if you're going to brake too early, you might get rear-ended. He's having to drive a little bit differently because he's racing someone and getting passed by someone.
And we're taking a look. Nick Adams.
Once
again spinning around. Oh, slammed the inside wall there.
Nick. Rough night. Oh, no. I thought he reset there for a second, but it just popped out.
Oh, what did he just hit?
Did he just hit the wall again?
Did he just turn right straight? You know what? We're back to the Gary Winters here.
I honestly, I was expecting Nick to run a lot better. I know he's pretty solid at road courses, but currently running in 22nd, just a rough night for him.
Yeah, and as we see our leader just getting around the number 82 of Mike Burgess.
All right. Hold up for a second, because I got to talk about lap time.
Whoa! I just seen that.
Yeah, we have talked about, so-and-so set the fastest lap. I think earlier Sean Carmody said it with 2:19.09. Chris Bassini just set the fastest lap of the race, a 2:18.67. So almost a half second faster than the previous fast lap. Down to now just a 2-second gap between him and Dan Shirley. He is coming in a hurry.
He absolutely is. That was almost 2 seconds faster than Dan Shirley there. And nobody is in 2:18s right now as far as their fastest lap.
Yeah, not even close. I mean, that was really, really fast. Justin Anderson just pitted again.
Oh, wow. He takes his fast repair there. He's getting tires, and he'll come back out.
I wonder if some of the damage he had was causing some issues that he wasn't aware of when he did get fast repair earlier. But that should fix things up for him now.
Yeah, he'll get back out there, get back. He's been fast all night, so we definitely expect him to get back up there as we see Johnny Downey going off course. Just gets a little slippery, no problem, gets right back on course.
Yeah, and Justin obviously lost, a lot of time there, and he lost some positions, but it's not going to hurt him as bad as it would at like an oval, because the field is really spread out right now. I mean, he's coming out ahead of Johnny Downey. He's still in 10th position, so not that bad for him overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Shirley, as you see right here, just cruising along, trying to keep this lead here. The gap right now, 1.9 seconds, just over Chris Bassini, but that gap is closing.
Yeah, it'll close for a little bit, then it'll go back up. But he shaved off a lot right there, 1.67. I think Chris is faster than him right now, but that could also be Dan just holding back a little bit and not trying to burn through his tires, knowing that he might have to race Chris later.
And there you go, a 2:20.71 for Dan Shirley, a 2:20.57 for Chris Bassini. So Chris really was able to turn that hot lap there of that 2:18 and then right back to the 2:20s. But if Chris can get back into these 2:18s or even in the 2:19s, that's going to go a long way to help him here.
Yeah, I mean, if he can do a 2:19 again, I mean, the rest of the field's falling out of the 2:19s, which is why it still blows my mind that he had a 2:18.67 last lap, and now the field's on 2:20.
But you see the gap right there, third, nowhere in sight, 22 seconds back.
Yeah, I mean, they have, earlier we had a race with the top three.
Top four.
Since then, top four. Yeah, you're right. But these top two guys, and Daniel Shirley and Chris Bassini, have been putting on a clinic now. They are stupid fast.
And the rest of the field pretty spread out for the most part. No real battles going on through there. Your closest right now would probably be, if not the leaders, Gary Winter and Joe Dinsmore, and that's about a 1.3 second gap as Joe Dinsmore trying to run down Gary Winters.
Yeah, I mean seriously, the whole field right now is just, there is nobody within a second. I say that Adam Wood just got within a second of Blake Zeeding. But otherwise, I mean, they're really just battles right now. The field spread out. And I mean, I would expect as tires get older, you're not able to do the things with the truck you do earlier in the race. So you're probably not going to be pushing it as hard. We might not see a lot of passes to end the race. It's going to be a lot of survival at this point.
So here's a hypothetical question for you. Right now, Chris Bassini, the last few laps, has been faster than Dan Shirley. Now, obviously, that 2:18, that was ridiculously fast. Outside of that, there's running incomparable times. If you're Dan Shirley, would you come in and take a pit with about 10 minutes left, get 4 fresh tires, to have those 4 fresh tires? I mean, you shouldn't lose second place coming through the pits, and then you have a chance to run Chris Bassini down, or do you hope that Chris follows suit?
I think at this point, pitting, you wouldn't have enough time to get there. I mean, 10 minutes remaining, that is going to be wrong. I wouldn't. I still think Daniel Shirley's been holding back a little bit. I think he's been pacing himself because even when he first came out of the pits, his lap time was a little bit off the best lap time. I think he's taking care of his tires because catching someone's one thing and passing them is a different thing. I don't know. I would have a hard time right now giving him the lead to pit 10 minutes ago.
And Justin Anderson, who did pit, he's currently running ninth as he's coming up the pace here, trying to get back to at least hopefully a top 5 for him. But Chris Passini all over the back now, the number 49 of Daniel Shirley.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Justin's time, see what he would. I mean, he is 30 seconds off from 5th place right now. So he would need to gain what? I'm not a math guy. So we're saying, I said what? 5 laps? I mean, that's not likely that he would gain that much time to get back in the 5th. But could still salvage a really good finish here.
And remember, though, being consistent, though. That's the key. These other drivers being consistent.
Absolutely.
You're looking right now, Chris Passini faster in all sectors than Daniel Shirley.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Sector 4 time to come in here, and because that gap continuing to shrink. We're under a second. We're at about almost 3/4 of a second. I mean, Chris is there. Not he'll be able to get around him though. There aren't a ton of passing opportunities. Yeah, that is fast. But there are just not a lot of passing opportunities here. Especially when someone like Dan Shirley is just not making mistakes.
And right there, about a half a second, Chris Passini per lap. You see Dan Shirley gets a little squirrely coming out of that corner.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Chris did. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the mistakes that Chris needs to have happen. I mean, that wasn't a big mistake, but it was something.
Well, and like you said, those little mistakes, that little mistake can really add up.
Chris just lost a ton of time there on Daniel Shirley due to getting around that lap car there. He had it within a second, fell back to about 1.25, 1.25, and he's fighting back now. I mean, he's gaining again, but did lose a little bit there.
Yeah, we've seen that gap there grow, but he is catching once again.
Yeah, he's keeping that gap pretty consistent now, but man, gaining a lot right here. Probably getting a little bit of assistance from the draft, being on a straight here. Now down to under a half second.
And how much is it? We talked about Dan Shirley conserving his tires. How much did Chris honestly conserve his tires? Now, we know that he ran a hot lap, but he's on a lap fresher tires than Dan Shirley, too.
Look, I based on his lap times, I don't think he was doing anything to purposely conserve. Now, he may just have, smoother inputs. That may conserve, but I don't think he was actively doing anything to conserve based on that lap time.
Well, he is catching your leader, Dan Shirley. These guys are battling it out. We're 39 minutes into this 45-minute race. And the battle for the lead is heating up as Gary Winters has an issue, and that's going to let Joe Dinsmore get around him.
Oh, he's just braking and
breaks that corner. Just gets too hot into that corner and comes off track. That allows Joe Dinsmore to pull third.
Might have also had a little too much rear brake bias. Because it looks like he's got a little loose there under braking. That's something you have to adjust throughout the race. And for Gary a lot, he knows that. I'm sure he's been adjusting it, but maybe he should have adjusted it more, or maybe he did just put brake there. It's hard to say, but unfortunate for him. Been running so well, but still in 4th place.
Yeah, absolutely. Still running 4th, and still has an opportunity about 2 seconds back from Joe Dinsmore, but he can still make a run here with about 5 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at lap times here between our 2 leaders, and that gap is expanding again. We are over a second again. I don't know if that's one of those things where perhaps Chris Passini used all of his tires, or he's trying to conserve or cool the tires down a little bit now so that he can make a run. Or based on that sector 2 time, maybe he just made a mistake somewhere.
I would definitely say he probably made a mistake there, and that's due to the last lap. He was faster still than Dan Shirley.
Yeah, I mean, he's consistently been shaving time off, but we're running out of time. He not only does he have to get there, he has to make the pass, and where is he going to do that? He's got old tires at this point.
Faster your again in sector 3.
Yep, your truck's not going to be able to brake like it could early in a run. It can't accelerate off the corners like it could early in a run. So where is he going to make this pass? I honestly don't know where he will be unless Dan Shirley makes mistakes. I don't know where he can make the pass.
And we're just going to keep an eye here on this as they come through sector 4. See what it looks like. The lead looks like it grows again. Just about a second. Now it makes you wonder, is Chris Passini pushing it a little bit too hard and just caused himself to make a few mistakes here and there, knowing that the time's winding down in this race?
Well, yeah, that's exactly. I mean, at this point, now's the time to push. I mean, you got to get going. You can't wait. I mean, it's not like it's pretty clear that Dan is not going to make any mistakes here.
And then Dan Shirley almost a half a second faster in sector 4. $43 minutes now into this race.
Was that the white flag that was waving at the flag man?
I seen the flag man waving the white flag, but as far as I'm tracking, this race is 45 minutes, and I believe plus 2 laps.
So I think
Plus
what
lap.
they typically do with timed races, if I'm not mistaken, is if a typical lap time would take you over the time limit, then they'll call, there'll be the white flag there. So in this case, 2.5, or not quite 2.5 second laps, or 2.5 minute laps. We would be, this would be our final lap here, but it's not showing white flag on my status screen. So that's
nor myself either. We'll just rock with it and go with it and see what happens here. Chris Passini, though, once again closing up this gap to Dan Shirley. Maybe that was the white flag. Now maybe it's the time that Chris Passini says, I gotta go.
Yeah, he's pushing. I mean, he's the gap's shrinking. He's right there. He's gonna have to outbrake him in one of the corners. I mean, that's really the only choice he has, and he has enough of a gap. He can take that chance. Ooh, Dan Shirley makes a little bit of a mistake there. Gets a little squirrely.
Rick Kohler gets out of their way, but that's still gonna look at the gap close up even more. Dan Shirley gets loose. Chris Passini tags the inside of him. I don't believe that was intentional at all, but he gets around him, and that's going to give Chris Passini the lead.
Wow, what a turn of events here. I did not expect that to happen.
No, Dan Shirley gets loose, locking up the tires, heading into that corner, and Chris Passini, trying to drive in that corner, just tags the side of him just a little bit, trying to get through that corner. Unbelievable what we just witnessed. The lead now, 3.5 seconds. Chris Passini over Dan Shirley, and the checker flag is out. Here on the last lap, Chris Passini will win the AOLL Sportsman Series race here at COTA.
Hey, you want to know something funny? Justin Anderson has caught Sean Carmody, and they are racing.
What?
So Justin, oh no, it looks like Sean fell at 6. They're battling for 6 right now. He's not going to make it to 5th.
Well, hey, I'll tell you right now, 6 is a respectable drive back. Seeing as right now, you see him, he's out braking the 40. The 40 gets loose, braking extremely hard, trying to outbrake the 73 there.
Did he get loose, or was there contact?
I believe he got loose. I believe he got loose.
I'm going to take another look on my screen and see if I can tell there. See if I can find a camera angle that'll work for that. Let's take a look here. Yeah, there was no contact. He just got loose. That, yeah, that sucks for Sean. actually lost another position there as well to Brian McFerrin. Yeah, Sean's going to finish. I don't know if he's crossed the finish line yet. I don't think he has. Man, that's the biggest problem with this race is that we've still got racing going on, even though the checkered is out.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you see, here comes the 73. He's going to take 6th. The 15, Brian McFerrin. 7th, Sean Carmody going to rock into 8th. Now we're with Andrew Burgess here in 9th. He will take 9th. Johnny Downey across the line, gaining 11 spots up to 10th. And I thought we'd get to see a burnout from our winner, Chris Passini here. We'll pull him in here in just a second. But William Klingbeil coming on around in 11th. But he's already left the track.
Yeah. I need to take a look to see if he is actually on, because I didn't see anybody in the team channel earlier. I might have to start messaging people.
Nah, he's in there.
Oh, is he? Okay. I saw earlier there was nobody in closed circuit, but that's good. He's in there.
Well, let's go ahead and pull him in then, shall we?
Yeah, I'll go and grab him here. Hey, Chris, it's Larry and Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man. Great run. Insane finish there at the end on the last lap. What was going through your head there when you saw Dan Shirley get turned around like that?
Well, coming to the last lap, I really had nothing. I really had nothing for him, especially through the S's. He kept gapping me, so I was pretty much content on riding behind him until it looked like he wheel hopped going into those final short corners there, and I freaked out. I hit the brakes. I tried avoiding him, but we made contact. But luckily, I didn't fully spin him around, so he kept going. But yeah, that was gifted to me. I was happy with second.
Man, that was a wild finish. I got to know though, how much did you conserve your tires, and at what point did you just put your head down and say, I got to drive to catch him? You ran the fastest lap at a 2:18.67. Nobody else got into that 2:18 mark.
Holy moly! I didn't even know. I was just concentrating on him in front of me because I was trying to learn through the S's where I was losing like over a half a second just on him going through the first part of the course. And yeah, I was just trying to be really conservative on accelerating through like first and second gear. I never even went full throttle, never even thought about it. But I think our tires were pretty even at the end. My one lap later pit stop, I think, kind of helped me catch back up to him a little bit, but I didn't think I was going to pass him, but I'll take it.
So I want to ask you about that pit stop. Was it your plan the entire time when you saw him pit that you were going to come in the next lap, or did that just kind of come along where you saw him come out and you're like, all right, well, now, was that always the plan?
With the 45-minute time limit, it was actually close to being an extra lap longer, so I saw I had 1.1 gallons passing pit entry on the lap when he went in, and it was about 0.9 gallons a lap. So I'm like, I'm just gonna baby this thing around. Give me one extra lap of fuel if this for some reason goes longer. I'm like, I'm guaranteed an extra lap, but it didn't play out that way. But it was, I feel like I have more fun trying to catch somebody in front of me than trying to be chased. It's a little more pressure.
Man, that was an awesome race. And honestly, for a road course, you guys made it exciting, man. So we really appreciate that here, man.
I'm just happy I kept up with him. Like, this is kind of fun. I was just trying to keep him honest. I wasn't ever really going to try to pass him unless an opportunity came up, which is on the last lap.
Well, I say that. The only thing we got to do now is we got to get you into a Ford and get you to know that Josh is the fastest road course racer on CCR. Josh Passini, not Josh Laston.
And hey, Chris, I just want to point out that this is the first closed circuit racing win in the Sportsman series. So we now have wins in all three series. Have to
Oh,
thank
I'm
you
happy
and
to do that.
yeah, have to thank you and Hannah for that. Hannah for the cup win, so thank you for that.
Well, I'll take it.
Hey, man, awesome race. We look forward to seeing you next week and see how you do. What track's next week? I should have pulled that
I
up.
think it's Thompson.
I'll tell you right here in 2 seconds. I got it. I normally check it. No, I don't. Don't let me lie to you. Let's see.
I do actually normally check it, but I'm going to be in the Caribbean next week.
It is Thompson, though. It is Thompson. So apparently I will be solo trying to call Thompson. That should be entertaining.
Or try to get Nick or Josh to skip the race and come up and join you.
Let's see here. One guy that sounds like he's having a heart attack every lap, or one guy that kind of talks really monotoned and really isn't that exciting. So I'll just do it by myself.
Oh,
just kidding. I love those guys.
Well, hey, Chris, really good run tonight. Really happy to see you get that win there. Hopefully we'll be talking with you next week.
I hope so too. Thanks a lot, guys.
Have a good one, Chris. All right, Chris Bassini takes the win here. Now let's go ahead. Let's pull up our second place driver, Dan Shirley.
Hey, Dan, it's Larry and Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
What's going on?
Man, that was a heartbreaking last lap there for you. What happened, man?
I just got into that turn and blocked the front brakes ever so slightly, and being the last lap and having Bassini right there, probably didn't act with as much caution as I should have, and it just bit me. So it happens.
Yeah, man, you were dominant, all race. You kept Chris pretty honest through the entire race. Was there any time, at that point in that race that you just thought, hey, this guy's going to be near impossible to hold off?
Well, Chris was really fast, so absolutely fair play to him. He was moving. He kept me honest the whole race. He was in my mirror pretty much the whole time, except around the pit stops. I came out from my pits and I thought I got the overcut on him, or the undercut on him, and I got about a 4-second advantage on him. But once he got his first hot lap in on new tires, he was right back there with me. So I was just wondering if he was going to be able to make a move there in the last half of that lap, which of course, I made that a non-issue. But he was fast and I knew he'd be right there, judging by the first stint. So, I'm really disappointed because I would not have been able to make another lap because I took an early pit stop. So I tried to back off my pace enough to allow us to only run 19 laps instead of 20. I managed to achieve that by the narrowest of margins. So, it's sometimes it happens.
Yeah, so, I may have given you a little bit of the broadcast first there, because right before you had your incident saying, this being the last lap, I think Chris is recognizing the fact that he's going to have to outbrake Dan in one of these corners because Dan's not going to make a mistake. He hasn't made a mistake at this point. And right after that, you made your mistake. So I got to apologize to you for that.
Struck by the commentator's curse.
It'll get you, man. It'll get you. But, hey, seriously, man, that was a phenomenal race by you. You darn near led every lap. Unfortunately, I believe you only didn't leave 2 laps when you pitted, and unfortunately the last lap. But I got to know, is road course your specialty, or is it just something that you just like doing?
My background in iRacing, a lot of sports car racing. So, I was ovals long before that, back in the NASCAR racing 2 days. But when I got back into sim racing in the last 5 years, I was doing mainly road courses before AOLL got started back up. I'm really comfortable on them. They're about racing the track and not the other people. And I like them because I feel like I have somewhat of an advantage there compared to the Charlottes and the Atlantas of the world. So the more of those we can do, the happier I would be.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How you feel about Thompson next weekend or next week?
Oh, well, ready to make some contact, I guess. We've had some good runs there at the short tracks in these trucks. So I feel good with the short tracks in these trucks. those are all about just kind of qualifying up front and staying out of trouble, getting to the end and then being able to really see where things have shaken out. But I had some trouble at Martinsville last week in particular. I got caught up in an incident, fell back in the pack, and it was just a bad night. But I'm ready to see what we can do next Wednesday.
Well, man, it was a great race from you, and we can't wait to see you back out there.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Well, let's run down the leaderboard here. Or, excuse me, the final results. Your winner, Chris Bassini, followed by Dan Shirley, Joe Dinsmore in third, Gary Winters in fourth, Kevin Muller fifth, Justin Anderson sixth, Brian McPherson in seventh, Sean Carmody in eighth, Andrew Burgess ninth, and Johnny Downey rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, and then in 11th, we have William Klingbeil. 12th, Brandon Bernhardt. 13th, Adam Wood. 14th, Blake Zeedy. 15th, Rick Kohler. 16th, Ed Springer. 17th, Kevin Haas. 18th, Mike Burgess. 19th, John Gordon. 20th, David DeParis. 21st, Nick Adams. 22nd, Tim St. Jean. And 23rd, who did not run, Randy Pepper.
Man, wild race here tonight. And tomorrow night, we got the TNT series. Where you guys going to be at tomorrow night?
We are at Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen, so another road course.
Yeah, it's the road course week for the AOLL.
Very exciting. So road course, Watkins Glen. Podcast Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Can't say Eastern Standard. Get yelled at about that. And,
and one thing to say about the podcast, please, everyone, tune in. We are going to be doing some really fun stuff outside of our normal format, a little something special, a little race. That should be a lot of fun.
Yes, it will be a podcast / live race call, I guess. It should be interesting. Sunday night, Cup Series, back here at COTA. That should be an interesting one. The Resident Alien will not be back for that race. And I believe we may be missing somebody else. I don't know if Justin Anderson said he was going to miss that race or not. I know he missed this week.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But, hey, I will tell you who is going to be missing. And that is me. I've mentioned that a few times. I'll be in the Caribbean next week. So hope you guys have fun without me there.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, we'll miss you. But with that being said, great racing here at COTA. Exciting fit, ungodly exciting fish, especially for a road course. Congratulations to Chris Bassini. We hope to see you tomorrow night for the TNT AOLL TNT Guitar Attic series. That's a mouthful to spit out there. And yeah, so we hope to see you guys tomorrow night. From everybody here at the GFM crew, we hope you guys have a good night.